Hey guys, this is Paige from Mocars, and today we're going to talk about the lineage of Rolls Royce Phantom from the first generation up until the 8th one that has been just unveiled. The Rolls Royce Phantom is the world's most recognizable symbol of automotive extravagance and status. Its huge waterfall grille and classic upright proportions convey a simple and singular message. Wealth goes here, or maybe royalty. The Rolls Royce Phantom is the flagship model of Rolls-Royce and has been in production for over 90 years. It is a full-size luxury sedan that is known for its opulent design, cutting-edge technology, and exceptional performance. Each model in the lineup has its unique features and design elements that makes it stand out from the others. So let's start with the very first model, Phantom 1. This is the new Phantom, a direct successor to the 1907 Silver Ghost. That Ghost, don't forget, completed the 1913 Alpine Trial and earned the nickname the best car in the world. It was phased out in 1925 after 19 years production. The 40 to 50 horsepower Silver Ghost model was replaced by the new Rolls-Royce Phantom. By this time, Rolls-Royce was up against strong competition and the new model had to exceed the standard of refinement already set. The company opted for an overhead valve and longer stroke engine of 7.7 liter, this time using a single detachable cylinder head over two cylinder blocks. With the use of Rolls-Royce's own very effective twin-jet carburetor, power was increased from 70 brake horsepower to 100 brake horsepower, a 44% increase over the Silver Ghost, which was significant. And how's this for individuality? Customers would choose their chassis and running gear before tasking their favorite coach builder with forming the body. This happened right up until the 1950s. Let's go to Phantom 2. The launch of this Phantom in 1929 meant the previous one was referred to as Phantom 1. The new car featured a new chassis, an improved 7.7 liter straight six engine, and famously appeared in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Unlike its predecessor, which inherited its underpinnings from the Silver Ghost, the Rolls-Royce Phantom 2 employed an entirely new chassis, semi-elliptic rear springs, replacing the cantilever springing of the Ghost and Phantom 1. The new low-slung frame, with its radiator set well back, enabled coach builders to cloth the new car in modern idiom, creating sleeker designs than the more upright ones in the past. The six-cylinder 7.7 liter engine was built in unit with the clutch and gearbox, and although similar in dimensions to that of Rolls-Royce Phantom 1 engine, it came in for extensive revision, the combustion chambers redesigned, the cylinder head now of the cross-flow type, with improvements made to the manifolds, performance being greatly enhanced. Road tested in 1929, a short wheelbase Phantom 2 recorded a maximum speed of well over 18 miles per hour, that well-known purveyor of horseless carriages to the nobility and gentry. Bonnie Scott Moncrief later declaring the Phantom 2 to be a magic carpet wafting you silently. Okay, let's head to Phantom 3. In the mid-1930s, Rolls-Royce produced the third generation of Phantom, having broken world records on land and sea. This new one was also the first ever Phantom to feature a V12 engine and the only V12 up until 1998. The choice of a V12 for the Phantom 3 from 1936 was entirely logical, Cadillac and his Panso Suiza joining this trend. The Phantom 3, with the long chassis, good for 85 miles per hour, represents an important milestone in Rolls-Royce history, being the first model to be equipped with independent front suspension. Of the 725 sedan chassis made, around 300 still exist today. The chassis for the very last Phantom 3 was produced in 1941, but it wasn't until 1947 that it was delivered to the customer with the chosen bodywork. One notable owner, Auric Goldfinger in the eponymous James Bond film of 1964, despite the car being nearly 25 years old at that point. Let's head to Phantom 4. The most exclusive of all Rolls-Royce Phantoms ever built, you'd be hard-pushed to disagree. After the Second World War, Rolls-Royce was still finding coach builders for the Phantom 3s that were built in the 30s. However, during the war, it had built and tested a 6.3 liter straight-eight engine in a Bentley chassis. Reportedly, production of the car was so time and resource consuming that no more than 3 were ever built per year. Only 18 were sold, and they were only available to royalty or heads of state. Their Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip commissioned one of the very first Phantom 4s, with a specially modified driver's seat as the Duke of Edinburgh liked to drive it himself. It was the first Rolls-Royce used at Buckingham Palace. and is still used for ceremonial occasions such as the wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton. Of the original 18 cars, 16 remain in various states of originality. Many have been repainted or rebodied, with one of the Shah of Iran's 2 cars even having the body placed on the frame of a Phantom 3. Heading to Phantom 5, another V8 power star, this 5th generation Phantom was built from the late 1950s through the early 60s. It also counts the late John Lennon of the Beatles as a former owner. Rolls-Royce new limousine model, the long wheelbase Rolls-Royce Phantom 5, effectively replaced both the royalty and heads of state only Phantom 4. Built on a much modified and strengthened silver cloud chassis, enjoying the same wheelbase as the Phantom 4, the new Phantom measured longer than the Phantom 4, enabling coach builders to combine the desirable qualities of spacious interior accommodations with generous boot space and graceful lines. A lower final drive ratio ensured that the new car would match its stablemates for acceleration, with over 100 miles per hour still possible. A cocktail cabinet was standard, while all-round electric windows and separate air conditioning to front and rear were among preferred options. Heading to Phantom 6. There were only 374 Phantom 6 were ever built from 1968 right through to 1991 on a rolling chassis, as was usual before the war. Although this increased the weight, it was absolutely perfect for styling individual bodies to meet the client's aspirations, particularly given its very long wheelbase of 3,660 millimeters. Driven by the royalty and heads of state, this Rolls-Royce limousine featured a V8 in 2 guises. The latter is 6.75-liter unit good for around 220 brake horsepower. A new Phantom 6 was always built to the client's specifications. Individual preferences and aspirations were the central focus. Color schemes, materials, and leather, as well as detailed solutions, could be tailored to the individual's requirements. Delivery times from 1 to 2 years were normal. This means that no 2 Phantom 6 automobiles are the same, and each one you come across today always tells a story about the first owner. Now let's talk about Phantom 7. And then we come to the Rolls-Royce Phantom that emerged under the BMW stewardship in 2003, which was touted the 7th generation relaunch of the Phantom name. This one came with a 453 brake horsepower, 6.75-liter V12, enough to propel it from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.9 seconds. The very first Phantom 7 made its debut on 1st January of 2003, and 3 months later was shipped from Southampton to Perth to then undertake a 4,500-mile drive across Australia in the hands of its lucky new owner. It's been touted as Rolls-Royce's most successful Phantom by far, having sold more than 3,000 of the enormous land yachts. And finally coming to Phantom 8, 2023 Phantoms also stands out in the ultimate luxury car class for its price, which is hundreds of thousands higher than those of rivals such as the Bentley Flying Spur or the Mercedes Maybach S-Class. The Phantom receives a light styling makeover for 2023 that includes updates to the car's iconic Pantheon grille and the revised headlamps that add a slightly more modern but not too modern appearance. New wheel designs round out the exterior enhancements, but should you want more than a standard Rolls, the company is launching a limited edition Phantom Platino model through its bespoke coach building service. The Platino wears special silver white paint and features an interior covered in hand-embroidered silk, special leather, and bamboo fiber-based cloth. So this is it, guys, the lineage of the Phantom, Rolls-Royce, most possibly the flagship sedan of all time among luxury segment, and probably the most luxurious sedan that has graced the tarmac of any roads on the planet. As always, precise and concise. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and put your notifications to all. Stay tuned for our next episodes.